know the truth and nothing but the whole truth. We are tired of the lies. We are tired of the false preachers and teachers and fake imams. Take back your religion and give us the truth. The truth as revealed by the Holy Tabernacle Ministries. We were once called Ansar Allah Community and also Nubian Islamic Hebrews. But now our teacher has revealed himself as who he really is. An extraterrestrial from the 8th planet Risk, Nibiru, in the 19th galaxy called Islaam. He has revealed secrets unknown before our time. The master teacher is revealing the secrets of the universe. He is making plain how the planets were formed and who gave birth to the sun, the original Elohim or Anunnaki, who they were, where they came from. Now the teacher of the Holy Tabernacle Ministry is taking his children to another level, a level that cannot be followed by fake teachers, no imams, no rabbis, no preachers, or no ministers will be able to follow him about the teachings of the universe.
Upon arrival here, Ethricles has been at in 1970, and the taking of the control of this body, of this individual that was 25 years old, not of much use to us. I went, and if you read the books, I went to State Street amongst the Sunnis and sat there and listened to their teachers, Hafiz Mahbub, a Pakistani, Hussein, a Sudanese, Salahuddin, Palestine. I sat there in State Street with them, gathered on Thursday nights with them and listened. And said, no, there is no discipline here. This is a little Tasta. This is a law Akbar, which can be any law, and these people ain't getting no direction. They don't even know what these men are talking about. And these Pakistanis who speak Urdu, they don't even know what they're talking about. And the Sudanese don't care. They just there to get sandwiched because they're starving. Or they're students and they try to get somebody to help them pay for their student loan. So I left there and I went on to the Moorish Science Temple out there in Queens with a brother named Salahuddin, who's a Rosicrucian, Astarian, who's everything he could read. Very confused. But he took me to the Moorish Science Temple, he had his feather on and stuff, and I sat amongst them. And I listened about the noble Juali story. He's a prophet. He wrote his own Quran, copied out of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus by a man named Livy. And I said, no, ain't no discipline here. Can't do it here. So I left it. I started listening to and reading Muhammad Speaks and listening to tapes of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the Nation of Islam. There wasn't no Farrakhan, he didn't have no power back then. I roamed around the streets of Harlem, and I encountered a subculture of wannabe Nation of Islamers, but wanted to still use reef and wear what they want and smoke and be hip-hop. It's called 5% at the time. Now they call it gods and goddesses and kings and all kind of names. They didn't bring stuff to mean things. I listened to that rhetoric. Say there's no shelter there. No shelter in the Nation of Islam, there's no shelter in the 5% nation. I went off to the Israelites, Beth Shalom in Brooklyn, Beth Israel in Brooklyn. And I went amongst them. And we used to gather there on their Shabbat. And we'd go in there. And I'd bring a small band of people with me, and some of them are still here today. And I sat amongst them. And I listened to their Kohens or their rabbis, whatever name they want to use. And I saw them getting drunk at a party and fussing and fighting with each other at the party. One of the Israelites temples from Chicago came in, and the Brooklyn community, they started dancing and grinding on each other's women. And I was sitting there. I said, no, this ain't the place to do it. Question is to do what, man? To prepare a group of people, 144,000 of them. Prepare them for the coming. What's coming, man? Christians call it the rapture. Muslims call it the return. Jews don't know what to call it. Most of the so-called black Israelite Hebrews are calling themselves Hebrews, but if you talk to them, they're really Christians. One's on 42nd Street, just like the Isley brothers, jumping up and down, don't know a lick of Hebrew. Get on television, get all embarrassed by white folks who can speak broken Hebrew. You've seen it. But they always talk about Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. There ain't no Hebrew, ain't no Jews in Israel, or ain't no ancient Israelites talking about no man named Jesus. No, that ain't happened. Yahweh first talked about Jesus, then he became Jesus. So those people are all Christians. Wasn't no shelter there. Where was I to find a place on earth or a culture that you can hide off into the corner and groom a certain amount of people to breed kids that, as the scripture says about Noah, would be perfect in their generation, that would not be touched by the what? By the knowledge. Where could you do that at? So I looked and I said, the only religion that has so many dumb restrictions on it, so many unresearched facts, that were made to look like facts because nobody's researching them, is Islam. But you have to grab a specific, you have to be particular about how you use it. So I said, how do I create a cult that would isolate itself from everybody? The Sunnis would leave us alone, the Nation of Islam would leave us alone, the Christians would leave us alone, and the Israelites and Hebrews would leave us alone. I said, well, the first thing is the symbol should be different. So you make a 6-pointed star and a crescent and an arm. That'll do it. Call them the Nubian Islamic Hebrews. That'll do it. Now to teach the word in Nubian. How to get the word Nubian born in America. Now I gave birth to the word Nubian in America. Now there's a million groups, singing groups, and companies using it. How to get this known, to get their attention on this, to get them off this and this. So we moved on out to Coney Island. I thought that was far enough away in Brooklyn, in an isolated area where nobody would know where we was at. And we gathered there. And the people who had met on the way, the adults who had met on the way, in my research to find out where to do this here, where to set the enclosed garden, followed me. As soon as Salahuddin, who was half Ansar, half modern scientist, half Rosicrucian, half Ashtar, and anything else he can get his hands on to mess his soul up, he followed me. Along came another guy who was a little cuckoo, named Sadiq. He was a reject from the military. Once in Dar es Salaam, on 52 Herman Street, threw him out because of his laziness and shiftiness. He came trotting on amongst us. Next thing I know is this guy's following me. Now I can go on and give you a whole bunch of them. I have a whole band. So I started saying, by looking at them, this group are faithful but not true. They won't last. They'll serve the purpose, but they won't last. Now we have to breed out of these people, these children, to prepare for the rapture. I knew I had 30 years. You with me? From the year 1970, which would bring you to the year 2000, to get this job done. That means the children would be around 19 to 21. You follow that? By now, by the year 2000, if the process took place. Moved out to Coney Island, had these people, said I can't support all these people, just teaching them. We had jewelry, we had little trinkets we were peddling on the streets. We kept having run-ins with the Nation of Islam who couldn't withstand our teachings, 5%ers who couldn't take us, Sunni Muslims who couldn't deal with us, Israelites who couldn't deal with us. Next you know, we became the hated group, which was appropriate for what I wanted. Why? Because then the people would stay away from us and call us crazy. We had big bones in our ear. We wore long black robes with a big green 6-pointed star crescent and punk in the front of our chest, and black turbans or long or high black tarabushes, which combined every African garb. They did not wear bells. We played drums to keep everybody happy, because you had to have chicken and stuff and music to keep black folk happy. And we gathered, and then they'd ask questions, and I'd answer questions, and we started to build. And this thing grew. Nubian Islamic Hebrews. It was called Pure Sufi at first. Then we just called Ansars. Then we became Ansar Allah. He got it backwards. Alright? So by now, the population had outgrown Coney Island. People out there with the Nation of Islam was intimidated by us. During that period of time, the government had set up all these model city programs, and Ford Foundation was funding people to drop out of school and sit in storefronts in different environments and pretend they're educating black kids. Meanwhile, they just got a lot of black people during the early 70s to quit their jobs and get in these model city programs. Remember them? And that means they had a cesspool of debates for crazy 5% Nation of Islam. And every time we be on our way to try to go make some money to feed these kids, we bump into them and they waste our time trying to debate. Or we bump into the Euro. Everybody wanted to debate with us. And I had to step out front, clean that plow real quick, and step back in before I get too noticed. So I backed each one of them up by putting forth a question to them that their leader would know I'm not to be trifled with. And I bumped into Minister Farrakhan way back then. He was downtown Brooklyn teaching in college, giving a lecture, and I was an audience, and I said, well, if Allah is a man who came to person and he has arm, leg, head, or A-L-L-A-H, and all that, he's a physical being only. There ain't no spookism, no spiritualism, no divine mind, none of that stuff. Then what did I say? What was he standing on when he created the planet Earth? That question made them leave. All right, leave him alone. When I dealt with the 5%, I said, well, if Clarence 13X is Allah and was once in the Nation of Islam, then the Nation of Islam boasts that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the prophet, correct? Then your Allah was a follower of a prophet, and that's backwards. Shouldn't it be the prophet is the follower of Allah? How did Clarence 13X become Allah from following a mere messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? So they said, oh, leave him alone. I bumped into Israelites. I said, well, in the scripture, Kings, he said he's going to wipe the tribe of Israel out of his sight. I would say, what is out of the sight of God? Or Elohim, or Adonai, or Allah, or Yahweh. What is out of the sight of Allah? I mean, he sees all things. He's the seer. What? Leave him alone. I went to the Moorish Science Temple, and I said, excuse me, this is the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus, written by a man named Levi. Could you open your Quran and start reading it? Said, now there's a strange coincidence that there's the exact same verses in here that's in your Quran, and it was written before it, according to the publishing. Now you can say, well, they copied that. You can't say anything you want, but it didn't help him, so he shouldn't have. What? Leave him alone. I went to the Yaanuwn temple. Baba served him at the time. North Carolina community. It was on Manhattan, Harlem, banging on drums and stuff. Remember the situation? And they talked about a rock called Shango with shells and with eyes, you know. I had to eliminate all this stuff with my people so I could get them to go to the next level. I took off my ring, which was a 6-pointed star crescent and Ankh at the time, and put it down and said, tell your God to move that. If he's all powerful, he comes with lightning and thunder and makes noise and he can hurt you. Well, hurt this ring. If he move the ring, I'll submit it. I'm joining you right now. Go ahead. They say, well, our God don't do stuff like that. Well, don't do stuff like what? Move rings or throw spears at people. Which is it? Well, them throw the spear at him, then he ain't got to move. That was the end of the order. Right? The scene was set. As I was going through these different stages, I changed my name every 2 years to keep the attention off of me. I said, oh, I'm Imam Isa. Oh, I'm Dr. Imam Isa. Oh, I'm Isa Abdullah Muhammad. I'm Isa Abdullah Abu Bakr. Whatever you want me to be, just leave us alone. So I set the stage. None of the teachers wanted to come out against me. So these guys ask those kind of questions, you know, that get up under your skin. Like right now, I asked the question, what was Master Quran's blood type? That's my way of saying, I got more questions if y'all don't leave me alone. I got some more stuff that if I keep throwing out there, your congregation can go off to where he got arrested, and they can, the information of Acts bill, get access to his arrest files, and you turn it, and then look on there and see what kind of blood type Master Farad Muhammad had, and investigate that blood type and tell what race he comes from. And we're in that Arab stuff, we're in that Persian, we're in that Syrian stuff. We find out exactly that guy who got arrested, that you lost, is from Oregon. Let's leave it alone, so I can keep going, but I'm leaving you alone. The last thing I did is superimpose the faces for you to say, stop playing with me, because I'm not the joke. I'm not the joking one. I'm not the fake one. I'm not the dumb leaders of the 5%ers out there just out there for the fun of it. I'm not, this job I'm trying to pull is the job. This is the real thing. This is all that and a bag of potato chips. With tax. This is real. You niggas are out there plastic. You're out there setting up stages and propping yourself and looking like a star, but it's plastic. It ain't real. Because you ain't teaching nothing. You ain't preparing these people for the rapture. When that shit comes, it ain't no joke. So I had to go off and find the dumbest environment to merge myself into with this congregation that I would have a shield against it. And Islam was perfect for it. Because it had a following that would run around cube-shaped buildings, make 7 circles, kiss a black stone, wave at another black stone, going over to a well, drink a glass of water from a well that Hagar and Ishmael was supposed to be in, leave there and run to a space where Hagar ran back and forth, come on off the side, spend the night on a mountaintop in tents, collect a certain amount of pebbles, go over to a space and little round circle with a little rock mountain and throw stones at it and call it the devil, and then move off from there and grab a goat and cut his throat. You understand? Cut his throat and call it a sacrifice, and then cut a lock of your hair, each person who's in Mecca, while you wear 2 sheets around you. You understand that? And then launch you back on home. Now, if that ain't voodooism, or some form of witchcraft, or some type of paganistic ritual or practice, I don't know what it is. But these people walked around as if they were right. And to this very day, these fools, some Sunni Muslims, just the other day, as you heard, tried to kidnap the ex-president of the United States, Nixon. A Negro Sunni Muslim. Also some Negro, we ain't got nothing to do with them Egyptian Arabs, Turkish, who call themselves Egyptians, over there, call themselves Muslims, were marching alongside this blind demonic sheikh on his way, while they're American citizens born here, got their families there, and this fool trying to blow up America where their families are at. And they see that as justified. He ain't born, he ain't good, he's over there in Egypt. They threw his butt out of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? He's like the Pope. The Pope travels around inside a big old glass tube now, waving his hand through a glass tube, and then declaring God is with him, for he is an intercessor of God on earth. But with this God, there is no protection from the stray bullet. When I see him driving by and waving his hand, I say, you are scared. That's your problem. You won't come out and stand in front of people because you are scared. Oh yeah, this crazy boy, all those crazy people that'll shoot you. Well, if you believe in this spook God that has this power in contact with you, that he can save you, then the bullet would go anywhere but at you. But if some Turkish man, another stupid Muslim, was true, stepped up and tried to shoot the Pope, that was just a couple of years ago, not tried to shoot the Pope, he did shoot the Pope. Shows one thing about the Muslims, their stupid killingness, sickness, and something about the Pope. You understand? You see Farrakhan marching, got 1,000 bodyguards all posting around him. But it's your protection, man. Don't tell me Allah's up there protecting you and you walk around with 50,000 bodyguards marching all over the place. These are people who say they have faith in some power in the universe that is the protector, or as Hafizullah, El-Hafiz, the guardian. He guards you, he protects you. You understand what I'm saying? So I found a very safe haven in the religion of Islam because it was so, the people are so stupid there. They don't even see what they're doing. I said, well, good, this is a place to be. So I took this, the Nubian culture of ours, and SARS of Sudan, because with that alone, at least we stayed black. We could justify saying, wear black. And put up the symbol of despair. Got it with me? And the crescent of the Ansars of the Sudan. And it had a black, red, and green, which was a line that Marcus Garvey had got from this brother named Dr. Dos Ali, who was also an Ansar, who gave him the red, black, and green flag of the Ansar, but took the crescent and stay off. And the Mahdi was flying this in the 18th century, and he got it over here in the 19th and early part of the 20th century. We know where it came from. Perfect flag. Now, brother, hung with all the Arabic on it we had years ago like this. With the 6-point star and the crescent was just too complicated. People kept on saying, what's that? What's that mean? I mean, it's just too heavy for them. So we just went simple. You missed that. The spare is Africa, the person is Islam, the black, red, and green is our course. You got it? Fine. So we put on veils. We took off of our African attire, our akbaras and our pools and our galas and feathers and black hymns and black robes, and we started wearing white robes of the Sudanese Ansar, but we did not pick up the toes of the Sudanese women because it was chiffon and see-through and expensive. Needless to say, so was the cotton as time went on. And we started dressing in veils and cloaked ourselves and had that cult type of look. Eventually moved into Bushwick Avenue and settled in. And there I had an enclosed garden. We gated it off. The elder that visited us was Sheikh Dawood Ahmed Faisal from State Street, the founder of Islam in America here, and the Islamic mission in America, recognized he used to come there religiously. Because I used to visit State Street, he used to tell the Sunnis, that's the man y'all should be following, point at me. And all they do is like, suck their teeth and start out. He's a old cackle, man. He's a fanatic, that bone in his nose, he got a bone in his hand, a ring in his nose. I laughed because I knew this day was done. They didn't know what they were talking about. Where are they now? Where is Usherwood in Philadelphia? Where is Yassine Mosque or Darul Islam in Brooklyn? Where is Ummah Party in Washington? Where is the Hamas Mosque in Washington? Where are those 5%ers? Where are the true followers of Elijah Muhammad? Where are the people that said that we were merely a schism and we would pass or fade away? Where are they now? They approached us on the street and threatened us, threatened to beat us up if we continue to propagate, get off our block, out of our neighborhood. And my brothers would come back and say, what do we do? I say, move out the way, because time is on our side. Because they teach in their Bible, the Quran, truth will last or prevail, and false things will perish or fail. So if that is a fact, then just be the last attribute of their God, a subordination. And we were. And here we are, still thriving, and they're gone. Let me go back to the point, son. So the temperature was right. The atmosphere was right. We were crazy. People stayed away from us. They were crazy Ansars, that schism. What they call us? Anybody remember some of the names? Oh, they worship their teacher. He's God to them. Like they wasn't worshiping Muhammad, but that was okay. As long as he ain't black, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So, I started raising the kids. Kids started being born. It was in a circle. We had a family. We gathered. We prayed together. We bickered all night. I said, Islam is an appropriate place to hide, because I knew that this is not information, but to be fair, and to never be able to be called a liar. I said up front, listen, I came giving you what you wanted, so that you would learn to want what I really have to give. I said that over and over again. All through the years. I look at that congregation in Brooklyn, and I give a khutbah on Friday, and I say, y'all are faithful, but y'all are not true. You will not last. Very few of you. I said, many are called, and few are chosen. Most of y'all will be out in the streets slandering me, and everything that the disciples of Jesus did. You understand that? I told them, one day y'all will be out of these veils. I only have them in veils for my own reasons. Be patient. Right? I said, one day we will move out of this city, and we'll move into an environment conducive to trees divine me. I said this for years. I told brothers years ago, they said, well, we're like Hebrews, why don't we drink? I said, we can drink. We can't get drunk. And the moment you get drunk, then you violate your own divine right. You can call it a sin in Christianity and Judaism, you can call it anything you want, but the moment you succumb to that intoxicant, you reduce yourself, like Noah, from a divine being. If you read Genesis chapter 9 closely, you'll see where it says he fell from something. He lost something. He lost his divinity. He lost his supreme being and became less than a human being when he became drunken and lost control of his own faculties. But to sit and sip wine at dinner, zipping down or whatever, it's fine. But to go and have a bottle of wine in your back pocket and just say, wow, man, did you see that plane go by? Yeah, I'll drink to that. It's not what they meant. To celebrate the Shabbat, which was the day that the Anunnakis, which I'll get into later, the Elohims, had desisted from their work when they had bred you to do the work for them. You follow that? And when you got blessed by them so that you didn't have to do the work, you also kept the Sabbath. It was their Sabbath if you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 again. But how you got into it is because you, if you are sitting here and indeed a seed from Seth to Enos, they blessed you and gave Seth over to Adam. And then bred from Seth the first Enos human being. Because if you read Genesis, you see that Elohim claimed Seth as theirs. And then Adam claimed Seth by saying, he is my image and after my likeness. Then he said, fine, then his child will not be Elohim, his child was Enos, a human being. And because you were disobedient to us, and even questioned me claiming the child, you no longer have access to us. I, as one of his incarnations, have stand your little miniature test. For 26 years now, you have been trying to question me from 1970 about everything that you can go off as black devils, some of you, and try to trap me. You have, and I watch you, I know your line of questions, and I know who your father is, regardless of the color of your skin. Don't talk to me about white devils. Talk to me about black devils. And talk to me about some of those white angels that are trying to help black people today. Don't be gathering those little groups and call all white people devils just because it makes you feel like a god when you ain't nothing but a god-darn fool. A blind man being led by other blind men who know nothing about reality. This is the science of the universe I'm teaching you people. This ain't no Mickey Mouse out the Bible, out the Quran. God, I finished the Bible and the Quran in those years. Cover to cover, broke it down. Any story you ask, I explained it to you. Now I'm taking you to the next level of it, and I repeat, none of your teachers can come this way. They can stop at Egyptology. They can stop at Islamic history and theology and Christianity. They will not follow me up to this level of the birth of the planet and your universe. Then I'll take you free in information that they only imagine. You follow that? If you are ready to go. I personally am amongst the Elohim silent council that voted that they pushed the button on this life form. You understand that? I oppose the existence of this planet and people. But less than 3 years ago, I cried before that same council to give you a chance. You understand that? And they said, you must teach them direct. So they're not going to believe it. They're not going to accept it. That in order for them to be picked up by the ships by the year 2000, they must be informed, because you're supposed to be raised up 144,000 of you Just like the members that manned the first ship was 144,000 with 24 elite. You must be lifted up. It should have been those kids that I had isolated under the cloak of Islam and in that cult that people left alone and hoped that you breed them and raise them. But no, you smuggled in candy. You smuggled in movies. A host of demons came in and married all the brothers in the mosque, including myself, and did everything they could to pull the kids into the streets. They put them in public schools where they got exposed to rap music. They got exposed to novels. And then the ballet dancers stopped. And then the Quranic and the Dhikr classes stopped. You with me? And then they were satisfied because they had tricked us. Because we were looking for what? White devils. Blonde-haired, blue-eyed devils. And we listened to the way the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught it and the way Noble Drew Ali taught it and taught it the same way. And both of them missed the black devils. That was in their own midst. Because of the death of Malcolm X, they found out a black cop was his right-hand bodyguard and gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation that could have been the result of the death. So anybody knows a man with bullet wounds is not supposed to get mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. If you're a police officer, you've been trained to know that. But he was a black man. You go back and check the Malcolm X story, they give his name and everything. In the Nation of Islam, they found out that in the N.O.I, standing next to the Supreme Captain, Raymond Sharif, right? There were black devils. They didn't call them devils, they called them traitors and munafiqans, spies. They had all kinds of names for them. Amongst the Sunni Muslims, they found that they had been infiltrated by black devils. The Black Panthers, the Young Lords, the African pioneer movement of the 60s, or the revolution that was bred out of the 50s, they found out that some of their leaders that are walking around today leading Islamic groups again, and are still cops in disguise. One of them right there in Atlanta used to be the head of a big black revolutionary movement back then. Burn, baby, burn, he said, as Rap Brown. Now he's some Muhammad al-Amin of some big Islamic group that sets out to kill people in the name of Allah. And call that righteousness. That's black devil. Ron Karinga, Leroy Jones, Stogie Carmichael, Angela Davis, Huey P. Newton, Eldridge Cleaver, what's some of the other ones? Bobby Seale. Come to find out the brothers and sisters that were leading the revolution in the 60s are still alive. Are still alive and walking the streets free. Some of them are even trying to start new organizations, like Leroy Jones. Those are the black devils that undermined Marcus Garvey, who set Marcus Garvey up. Those are the black devils who set Noble Drew Ali up. Those are the black devils who set the Honorable Elijah Muhammad up. Because you 5% who only pay any cents, those black devils are the ones who assassinated Clarence 13X. We're so busy calling the white man the devil, building our merits and props on that, we're forgetting we're surrounded by devils. The only time you call him the devil is when you go to try to get your driver's license and you're in a line and this one old black woman goes out her way to make your day miserable. Or you're in a welfare office with a social worker, or it's your parole officer, or 3 cops come to your house and a black one is spending so much time trying to, well, let's look in his bedroom. Let's look under there. And the white people saying, come on. This is the wrong place. Well, let's check him anyway, you know. Well, you wrote those things off, and what'd you call those people? Angry Negroes, Mad Negroes, Uncle Tom. Right? But you never called them black devils because you never wanted to admit that there was a such thing as a black devil, because then you had to start questioning your own nature. But now we know there's black devils in here right now. They're not sitting here for the same reason you are. To get this divine information to make a link back to your Elohim fathers and mothers who are in heaven to get out of here. They're sitting there hoping they can trap me. They want to offer me some book written by a white man on science and come back and ask me some stupid scientific question about stuff that's in your century, and I come from almost 100 centuries ahead of you. And always have been. And you have not been able to trick, trap, or catch me in any of your little tricks, just like they couldn't trick, trap, or catch Senenda, Jesus, 2,000 years ago. He made a fool out of him every time. And every time you try, like your little stupid cult book, I said, oh, you want to play games, huh? You really think I'm a Muslim? You really think I care about Islam and worshiping the Kaaba? You're missing the point. That's not who I am. That's my cover to get the truth to my people. I'm not following no white Arabs. I'm not worshiping no rocks and no buildings and no monuments and passing little beads to my finger because I believe in this stupid Buddhist tradition you captured into Islam. Don't make me mad. I'll tell you about yourself. So you let some fool, Bilal Phillips, write a book about me. I had to stop what I was doing, which was addressing the Jesus story, and address you people. You satisfied now? I wrote a book called 360 Questions to Ask a Sunni Muslim. You haven't been able to answer questions. Don't you wish you would have left me alone? I wrote an apology to the nation of Islam, not because I really believe Master Prophet Muhammad. I didn't care about him. I knew he had a blood type, and I know his blood type. So I know what he was. Because I'm the one who put the pictures out that nobody else had. So if I had a police file, you know I know his blood type. And you know I'm smart enough to look at his blood type and trace out where he really came from. Don't play with me. But no, I put the apology out and tried to be nice and say, all right, listen, I spoke to Elijah Muhammad. What did you say? You saw him on the flying sauce? Okay. Farrakhan saw him on the flying sauce. I spoke to Elijah Muhammad on the flying sauce with a dream, in a dream state. All right, I'm sorry. Okay, go on about it. At least you got people, they're not drinking, they're not smoking, they're not out there cussing and trying to hurt each other. At least they're trying to do something for themselves as a people. Get up off that little racism stuff and you'll be all right. Let's move on. Watch out for them black devils inside there. Stop blocking all the white folks, because some of them are better than them niggas you got sitting next to you. That's true, it's true. Let's move on. No, couple of fools. Farrakhan never had touched it. He was smart enough to leave it alone. He's an intelligent man. But some of the fools, see? Your imam apologized. That means that he ain't right and exact. That's what you did. I thought you said a long time ago that there were people wrong. Now in the apology you said, so you forced me to put a film out and superimpose the faces on top of each other. Now what? I wouldn't have done that. I was leaving you alone. I was going about my business. I was not going to take the pride in trying to destroy a black nation and make myself look good. I was saying humbly, I'm sorry for attacking this black nation. We shouldn't do that. We need to stay as close as we can about our facts. I don't care what Farrakhan believes. I don't care what Farrakhan feels in his heart. I do care what they teach other black children and other white children and other Latino children and other Oriental children. I do care what they teach the children on the planet Earth. But I will leave you alone because I'm watching you close to see how you're taking it. And what path you're taking them. It ain't dangerous yet. I know they'll find their way here in due time. It's better there than sitting amongst them Sunnis worshiping them Egyptians or them Saudi Arabians or them Pakistanians being changed into homos. That was better. No, but some fools who don't know how to leave stuff alone got to come back out and ask me the question that I'm purposely trying to avoid. You follow? So now you forced me to put out a video. You know the name of it? That's right, or the Elohim. And superimpose the faces so you can see that Ford, God, Ford, Wallace D. Farad, and all of them are the same man. You can't get around superimposing a human face that you've denied. The lips, the eyes, the hair, and everything matches up. And I didn't say anything after that. I'm willing again to leave you alone. Stop trying to interfere with my mission. You understand? Mine is on facts. I can stand in front of any one of your teachers and tear them apart in less than 5 minutes. And ain't not one of you can come out and dare stand against me. You can send out some nut from your congregation who thinks he's heavy, and I won't waste my time. I'll send one of my sons. But if you got somebody from the top who wants to talk from Dr. Ben and Farrakhan one-on-one, don't be sending me some subsidiary so you can have an excuse of saying, what did he say? You leave him with me too long, he won't come back. He'll be right here with us, but you'll see where the truth is. But they can't see that. They're caught up in a God complex.
Do you believe that Earth is being visited by beings from other worlds? Do you believe that these beings are far more intelligent and far more advanced than those of the planet Earth? If you are one of these people that are sensitive to those truths about the people or beings from other galaxies, then these tapes are for you as distributed by the Holy Tabernacle Ministries.
In Kuwait, it's a new army. America's in it. Russia's in it. France is in it. Who else is in it? Canada, Germany, Pakistan, Nigeria. All these demons have come together. Black, white, Oriental, Latino, it don't make no difference. Devils come in all colors, shapes, and sizes. Speaking every language and every religion. That's their favorite thing, religion. That's been set up. The power has been set up. One worldism is in place. Now they just say a thing. We're going into a country and we're going to take it. Our first step is revelation. Nobody better not buy or sell to that country who does not live under the mark of the beast. What do they call it today? Sanctions. When they say you cannot sell to Iraq and Iraq can't buy from nobody. Revelation. They did it in Somalia. They did it in Sudan. They're getting ready to lift it in Cuba. They're getting ready to lift it with the Palestinians. Because Yasser Arafat, which I told you a year ago, when he had that plane crash, I said, watch him change. Did I not? Well, he had that plane crash. He's the only one that they pulled out that plane crash. And I saw him on television. They had him on that stretcher. I said, that's the end of Yasser Arafat, and that's the end of the PLO. When he comes out of that hospital, he's going to be a docile person. Because they know how to remove portions of the brain. Because they remove from you the pituitary gland in the hippocampus region of the brain in the cerebellum. And it cut off your 4 higher senses. So you're no longer in contact with the Elohim. 6,000 years ago. That's a long time, huh? Cut off your divinity. Well, they do that. Nowadays, they simply call it lobotomy. The pituitary gland is hooked up to your appendix and to your tonsils. Vibration, kunna, ein, om, open you up. They open the head up in the story of the removal of the rib. Why did they remove the rib? They didn't have to remove a rib. A man has 24 rib bones and a woman has 24 rib bones to this very day. That's a scientific fact, and don't tell me it grew back. Because they were grown-ups, not kids. They removed the bone because the blood is formed in the bone, the marrow. So they know to go in there and find the purest blood or perfect generation or perfect genealogies for your DNA and your RNA. That's why they use the word rib. And they took out Adam's blood or Zakar's blood out the marrow of his bone and injected it into his mate to breed Eve or Nabab. And at the same time, Nabab, the great scientist, opened their head and went down into the brain and pulled out the gland from the lower part of the front lobe of the brain, where all your psychic. Follow? They're in place. The devil has his empire set in place. The water is now poisoned. The East Coast, as I prophesied, is starting to go under. Every year, something new is happening on the East Coast. Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, just Virginia. Last year was New York. The The East Coast is going on. Everything I predicted in the book 666 is has or will. They had their earthquake in California. Though no one believed me until it happened, had to call me. I thought you said there's going to be an earthquake. While they was on the phone, it was happening on television. It ain't funny. It's funny to y'all, it ain't funny to me, because if I was white, I know they believe me. Remember, because I'm a newbie and everything I say, you got to sit there and try to pick it apart. So the ship that comes for you will take you for that 1,000 years, or then you will come back as King of Kings, Masters of Masters, they call it Lord of Lords. You will be groomed. They will replace the gland. Your eyes will be open. You will become like one eye again. You know what I'm saying? You'll be coming forth as Elohim. And when you come back with the ship, what's going to happen is the devil, who we only can bind with a chain in hell, will be let out of his prison cell, literally, and come back to unite all of his people again. You understand that? And then they're going to set out to try to destroy you. And when they go up to climb the mount, they call it, right, of the holy ones, the elders will shoot from the ships fire from the sky and destroy him and take him, it says in the book of Revelations, him, his false preachers, that means his imams, his rabbis, his ministers, his pastors, and all the titles that they take with their false religious Bible, Quran, Old and New Testament teachers, and cast them and him for faith in him and not truth into a lake of fire they call sulfur. In the Bible, brimstone. Look it up. Which means it's a physical fire. You understand that? Cast them into it. Who else? Then the false prophets and everybody who chose to live in his image. All these people who want to be white folks, who want to be super Michael Jacksons. I mean Michael Jackson wants to be white. There's niggas who want to be Michael Jackson who's black. People like who want to be Prince who's black. And who's Oriental trying to be Michael Jackson, trying to be Prince. All of them will be cast with you. You understand what I'm saying? Into that lake of fire where they will be wiped out forever. And it says, and I will wipe away this earth and this heaven, and I will bring in a new earth and a new heaven. So he feels sorry for those who are not a part of the second death. You follow that? The first death takes place when they leave, and you are unguided. From 2000 to 2030, you'll be unguided. No guidance, no leadership. It's already started. The devil runs rampant in his power. He just knocked a Rodney King in the head, and nobody can do nothing about it. I can send a fleet of names, and I'm only talking about Rodney King because I'm in America. Usually in Africa, you'd be hearing about Nigerian police doing that to white tourists. If you was in Trinidad or Barbados, you hear about them doing it to white people that they're visiting, knocking them in the head, and the government over there don't help them. You're only talking about here, so you launch everything about what happens to Negroes here. Come to find out Rodney King ain't nothing but a black devil. I'm the first to have told you that. Now you see, since the incident, you think he's straightened up? He can't, because he's a black devil by nature. And his whole job was, of course, the riots to get all them people hurt. That was his job. Now he's out doing the same devilishment he was doing when he got arrested. It was all a plot of the devil to try to start a riot. As I've been telling y'all for the last 3 years, the white man who rules now is trying to start a riot. He's trying to get a riot. Well, they got it hooked up, but you were not stupid enough to stay in it. So he then killed and beat up 4 or 5 other people since then. But you're too caught up. That's what they said. The angel of death said, man, when the Almighty spoke to him, he said, man is going to be so involved in this world, he ain't going to know when you're there. Angel of death is lurking over you right now. But you're so caught up in something, you think you don't even realize it. Caught up in such petty, trivial things.